Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another segment of FEE3 2020. My name is Zan or Zanryu, whichever you prefer. Some of you probably don't know me, actually most of you, but I'm very excited to be here, and I'm very excited to be bringing you Wrath of Justizia. This is a custom built from the ground up fan game built in Unreal Engine by Kai Lindow and a group of friends. This group has been doing all the 3D modeling themselves. The project is entirely in German, but I've done a lot of the translation work so we can actually take a look through the menus, see what's different, see what's the same. There are also a few twists here and a couple interesting things that have been done just in this chapter alone that I think could change the way you play the game in some instances, as well as some things that you might actually find rather interesting. So right out the gate, we're going to see a lot of Tellius influence just in the design of the models as well as the map. The colors even I find are pretty Tellius in my opinion. I also want to take a minute to mention that there's a fair few mechanics that may not be finalized or are not functional or even added at all. The game does work, however. So on our stat screen, we have, as you normally would, in the top left box, we have our unit information: name, portrait, class. Then you're going to see 3 bars, one being for your health, one for stamina, and one is for mana. Stamina, when it hits 0, you will no longer be able to attack. It will lower with every attack you make. Mana is being used for skills. I'm not sure if all skills will use mana. I'm not sure if there's any sort of recovery outside of consumables, but you will see in the inventory we have fire, we have our vulnerary, and we have an elixir, which is the mana recovery item. Next to our character information, we have our stats, which are strength and magic, followed by our maximum health, stamina, and mana. To the right of that, we have physical defense, magical defense. Then we will have our skill, luck, and speed. In our lower box, we will see all of our combat statistics. One column being our physical damage, physical defense, and magical defense. Second column will give you your hit rate, your dodge chance, and your attack speed. And our third column, aptly named critical, is, you guessed it, our critical chance and our critical avoidance. Following this in the lower box is our weapon levels or specializations. In the physical column, we have sword, lance, axe, bow, dagger, and hit. It is used for beast weapons. They may also come into play with other weapon types. I cannot say for sure. There are no actual units in this chapter that use this weapon level. In the magical column, we have fire, earth, wind, water, light, dark, and staff. I'm not sure if earth is actually lightning or they are axing that entirely, but this is the only translation I could find, unfortunately. On the right hand side, we have our skills at the top. The first skill is actually one that is rather interesting, as this is Kanto, and if you noticed before I entered the stat screen, this is an infantry magic user. I don't know what this is going to mean for mounted units or flying units, but I do find it rather interesting for an early game magical unit. But on the same note, this magic user also levitates and can bypass obstacles on the map. So this could open up a huge number of possibilities in the way you want to play your magic user. I don't know if this is a personal skill or a class skill, however. This could be unit specific, or this could just be an overarching concept for magical users, which could change the entire game, really. The second skill is a summoning skill, which I find rather interesting for an early game unit. This one allows you to summon a Spectral Fox, which every turn will lose 5 HP until it hits 0 and then disappears. It can also be used multiple times and have multiple summons out on the field at one time. And you're basically only limited by your mana. So you might actually want to keep your mages a little bit further up, closer to the front lines. Here you have one of 2 Axe Bros. This first skill here, you will see, gives you an extra 2 move if your stamina bar is full, and a critical plus 10 skill for the second skill. Alvar is also equipped with an Iron Axe and a Hand Axe. Here we'll see Gustav, who has the same plus 2 move skill with a Hand Axe. He also has, again, the Medicine, which is the equivalent to Vulnerary from Radiant Dawn. And Falk has an Iron Bow, a critical plus 5 skill. You'll also notice at the bottom the Herb item, which is a stamina recovery item. Moving down to the bottom, we have Carolyn, who is our healer NPC. You'll notice right off the bat that she also has access to light magic, which is interesting for early game because you have an offensive healer, which isn't super common. So I'm pretty into that. But you'll also notice a dagger level. I don't know how daggers have been implemented in Wrath of Justizia, but it could potentially be rather interesting if it's done a little differently than the way that Path of Radiance handled their daggers. So for starters, we're going to actually levitate over these obstacles and use our summon to get some damage out on this first enemy fighter, so we can actually move downward and recruit our cleric. But let's not forget that you will also lose 5 HP after every turn on our summon. So if you are at 5 HP or less, you will not be able to use that same summon to attack the next turn. It might be worth healing, it might not, but you will have to waste another turn and more mana to summon a second summon. I also want to take a minute to talk about our 3D models here. You'll see they're very clean, very well animated. However, as you're going to see here shortly, the bow animation does not seem to be implemented, as it looks like they are using the javelin animation. Again, not everything is final, not everything is implemented. This is still an early build that has been in the works for roughly a year. This is also a very small team of amateur developers, so do keep that in mind. So our summon here loses the last of its HP, but we're going to head over here, recruit our cleric, and then we're going to use our summon, finish off our turn by using Canto. Bless these magic users. Very nice change. And then we're just gonna sort of create a little wall to protect our cleric here and heal our other group just so that we can sort of move them a little bit further up to the top left and clear out some of the mess up here. Alright, so there's a nice big critical. Get rid of this fighter in one fell swoop. That's actually going to make it a little bit easier to clear out this group up here. And we'll also have our summon doing a little bit of the heavy lifting down at the bottom of the map. I also want to take a second to talk about how we had that hold to end turn feature. I don't know if that will be final. The field menu does not work at the moment or is not implemented, but I do like having this hold to end so that I don't accidentally click it when I get a little bit too clicky. I don't know about you, but I do sometimes get rather carried away. So on a personal note, I do hope that stays. Need a second here to think about how I want to approach this. I have had issues in a previous playthrough where my archer actually dodged a melee attack and the game soft locked when I was unable to counterattack. I'm not sure if that is a common occurrence, so I'm just trying to avoid any potential issues wherein that could happen again. Here we'll get that nice double from our summon. We're going to clear out most of that HP so we can finish them off this turn. And we'll take that opportunity to do so with our mage. Alright, there's a useless critical, but we'll take it. Alright, well we're starting to notice here that the axe bros are actually losing a little more stamina than I'd probably prefer. So we want to definitely make sure one of them does not get singled out, because that bar will drop pretty fast. We'll just keep them a little bit on the edge here and try and kite a few over so as not to drain everybody all at once. Unfortunately, I don't know what that item does either. That's one that I did forget to translate. We'll end our turn here and see how this is going to go. And we get the dodge out. Perfect. Okay, so we'll just move our magical units up towards the river, and I guess we'll just leave them there. Can't put them in anybody's range to kite, and it seems we cannot heal at this distance, unfortunately. It must be about 1 square short, I guess. I would have to be a little bit further over to the left to actually get that full range. That's okay. Fortunately here, we're witnessing a force of habit. Archers do have 2-3 range, and I forgot. I'll be honest with you. Probably should have stayed back a square so I could actually fill that gap with one of the axe bros and just throw a hand axe. But we'll make it work, I guess. Yeah, definitely should have done that. This is okay. We'll make it work. we'll take out this archer, and I guess we'll move Alvar further up since he has the Iron Axe, which will allow him to actually get some doubles out. We'll just heal up for good measure. It's a little bit of a waste of a vulnerary, but I'd rather be safe than sorry, at least in this instance. You never know, that 1% critical could slip through the cracks, and that's not what we want today. And there's another big critical, another nice 45. That's exactly what we needed. It seems like, I guess I don't have enough mana to summon at the moment, so we'll use an elixir to restore some of that, and that'll allow us to get a summon out next turn. Probably something I should have considered last turn. Unfortunately, you don't get to see how much mana the summon skill is going to use right out the gate. This is fine. We're in no huge rush here. We've only got one enemy that is really going to be in range for us here. Since we're not going to be proceeding to the next chapter, we're just going to use what items we got. We'll get some heals out since our healer is just out of range. We're not going to be too conscious of our resources here. We'll just hold up on the bridge and force our way through. Still out of range for the heal, so we'll get our summon off, and our summon cannot cross water, unfortunately. I'm not sure if that's intentional. I find it kind of strange considering, first of all, it's a spectral summon. Second of all, it's actually, it's a fox. But this is okay. We'll use it there to kite, I suppose. And then we will, yeah, we'll go over here. We'll use our hand axe, get some more damage out, get some more experience. Everybody else won't move, so we could. There's also this enemy over here who has a droppable item that I can't see any explanation for. Info is not functional on the stats screen outside of the skills. Yeah, it might be in my best interest to send Alvar and just hand axe this guy. And we'll move our units a little bit closer since nobody's actually going to move into their range on their own. We'll at least be able to sort of heal up, reassess the situation before we move in on the boss, because this is a defeat boss map. Okay, so here we have it. Another one down, and we will be able to progress forward. And we have a light. That's interesting. I probably should have checked that. But that'll be good. We'll be able to give this to Carolyn, who will actually be able to help us get through these armors blocking the way a little bit more efficient. Not sure if anybody's going to move once I pass a certain threshold, but we're going to just err on the side of caution, keep them over here, and keep our archer out of range. We can't do enough damage on the armor here, so we're going to have to use the magic users on that. That's okay, we're going to trade over that light spell. And while I think of it, well, we might as well heal Falk at the same time. A little bit more experience, take care of the homies, and we will live to fight another day. Well, let's just throw another summon out here since we have the mana to spare. Put out some damage. This might help us get through a little bit faster without wasting too many resources. I guess we'll wait and see what happens. It won't survive another hit, but at least it can do a little bit of chip damage, and it is essentially cannon fodder anyways. I'm not too concerned. Here we have a boss with a steel axe and a boss related skill. I'm not sure if that grants any bonuses. And here we'll see we don't get our double out because we've actually run out of stamina for our second attack. So that's another thing that you will have to actually keep an eye on. I don't know if stamina recovers on its own or if you will be stuck using the herbs to recover it manually. We get Alvar with a nice little dodge. Finish off this lieutenant or whatever you want to call him. And that's going to leave the boss wide open to a little bit of punishment. Here we're only going to get 5 damage. Not really worth the stamina for 5 damage. We get a dodge from the summon. That's nice. We'll take this opportunity here, finish off this fighter. Let's see what kind of damage we could get out on the knight. That was a really good level up. That was the best one so far. You'd love to see it. Nice one shot to finish off this knight. And what do we got? It can't all be great. Yeah, so it seems you're not going to recover stamina at all, unless it's like an over a long period of time sort of thing. So we'll just heal with the herbs, and we'll be able to use Falk next turn. So with what we know about elixirs and herbs no longer being health items, I wonder if there's going to be anything down the line that will actually replace those in a traditional sense. You'll get a small heal, our vulnerary for a medium heal, and then a higher heal like the concoction, and then a full heal like the elixir. This is the only chapter we've been instructed to bring you today, so I have no way of confirming anything beyond what we already see here. Alright, so that's going to be a nice one-shot. Carolyn. And this will leave us to finish off the big bad boss. Fortunately, the boss is restricted to his steel axe, so this is going to be a pretty easy cheese. Unfortunate for him, but very fortunate for us. But it seems even attacking from 3 range, you don't lose any hit or damage like you would with the longbow, which is good. I'm glad that they didn't decide to do that. Wow. Alright, we got 2 good level ups. Not bad. Not bad at all. And we'll just come in here. And we'll just go for it. One big swing. And that is all she wrote. Big 168. And another poor level up. That's alright. So there you have it. That was Chapter 4, titled Village. I am very interested in seeing how this is going to proceed. I cannot wait to see the future updates for this game. I really enjoyed that, so I hope you did as well. I hope you found some interesting twists, and I hope that when we have more for you, hopefully next year at FEE3 2021, we will all be blown away. Keep in mind, again, this is a custom built game, so the file size is much larger than you have grown accustomed to for some of these projects. But from what I've seen, it's well worth it. And I want to say thank you for tuning in to FEE3 this year. This has been a lot of fun to put together. And I hope you have found some new projects and possibly some old ones that have reignited your interest. Once again, I am Zan. Thank you all. Take care of yourselves and enjoy the rest of the showing.